Got it. Sorry. Okay, we are good to go.
All right. Got to do it again when we have it. Welcome everybody to our city council meeting tonight. Mayor is joining us via online. Mayor, are you there?
I am. I don't have very good service, so I'm not doing video, but I'm here.
Okay, great. I'm just gonna chair the meeting since he is online. Let's see. Do we usually do roll call? Here. Everybody who's here, say here. Just kidding. Go says who's here. All right, we have Councilmember Ewald and Grover and Nilsson and Gasser here with us tonight. We will start with a prayer or thought by Mr. Johnson, if you wouldn't mind doing that for us tonight.
Our dear Father in heaven, we come before thee this evening. We're grateful for the opportunity that we have to come and serve the community and to provide the city council the things that they need to make the decisions for our community to help enhance it and create a wonderful quality of life here. And we pray that tonight's agenda items will go smoothly and that we can have a spirit of helpfulness and collaboration. And we are grateful for our many blessings. We're grateful for the much rain that we have received, and pray that it may continue. In these things we ask in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. I'll join us for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, have you all had a chance to review the consent agenda and the minutes, financial statements,
Yes.
and take a motion
I'll make
unless there's any changes?
a motion to accept the minutes from July 26th.
All right, motion's been made by Councilmember Gasser and seconded by Councilmember Nelson. All in favor? Everyone approves. Is there any conflict of interest that anyone would like to claim for tonight? We have a small agenda, but. Okay. All right, so this is the time where we have a open public comment period. If there's anyone who would like to speak to the council and share with us information, this would be your time to do it. We don't do another time in the meeting, so this is your time. Just a reminder, you do have 3 minutes and there's not a back and forth discussion normally in this situation.
My name is Glenn Gurney, and I have 3 hangars down there at the Blanding Airport. And what I'm going to ask you is to suspend the current lease requirements. Reason for that is we have a problem. My big problem is only one insurance company meets the lease requirements. I mean, I have no options. It's got to be this one company. And there's 2 problems with that. Number one is that I did have a local insurance agent try to write that policy because I like to keep the money local if I can. Well, that person could not do it because the lease, the insurance requirements in the lease are so strict and so narrow that she could not provide a policy. But she did go to a lot of other vendors to see if underwriters to see if she could find somebody that would do that policy, and she could not. She did come to the city and met with Mr. Johnson over the issue, and they could not resolve it. So I couldn't get her to do the insurance. This lady's a very nice lady, married, she's got 4 kids. If you ever had 4 kids, you can't make enough money to feed them. I mean, you're going to be broke all the time. And the agents, if they can get a little bit of work here and there, it helps. So I really wanted her to get it, but it didn't happen. So I was bummed out about that. So I have not complied with the insurance requirement on this lease, which puts me in a bad situation where I could be evicted from the hangars. And the last time I spoke here, 6 days later, after I came up with an idea that maybe you should, or suggested you get a airport advisory committee, 6 days later, I got an eviction notice from the city. That was pretty bad. That was pretty bad. So then I had hired and pin the blame on one person, because I asked Mr. Johnson here, who wrote this? And he said, actually, it was a committee. It wasn't me, per se. It was a committee, and that's how this policy coalesced.
So that's your 3 minutes, but if you want to go ahead and just finish your thoughts quickly, that'd be great.
Oh, finish my thoughts?
Yeah, your 3 minutes is up. So if you
Oh,
just
I'm
want to finish
sorry.
your
That's
thoughts.
what the,
Yeah.
okay. Okay. All righty. That'll do it. That'll do it. If you can think about that. And I just want a little bit of time. If you suspend it, then we could delve into this more. We could spend more time instead of, these people are all waiting. I don't want to hold them up. But, we could schedule something. In the meantime, I would ask that you do not take legal action against me, because my attorney said that's the next thing that's coming up. I'm not going to sue you. You're going to sue me. So I would ask you to put that on hold till we could discuss it. And that's the end of my 3 minutes.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
thank you.
Thank you. Just so you know, that would be an action item, and so it's not something we can address in the meeting tonight, because it would have to be something that would be on the agenda as an action item.
Actually, that would be a closed session matter.
Or it could possibly be a closed session matter. That's true. Thank you. All right, Mayor, you are up for reports. Mayor, do you have anything you'd like to report?
Anybody else wanted to?
Oh, yeah. Is there anyone else? There's a lot of people here. Sorry. Anyone else want to speak in public comment? All right. Thank you. Mayor, do you have anything you'd like to report?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Nothing of too much significance, but I was gone this week up to some meetings at the Capitol yesterday we had the governor's staff and the league, and the purpose of that meeting was just kind of I guess they call it a kitchen cabinet kind of a thing. So just anything extra that we could think of to talk about. And our main focus on that meeting yesterday was to talk about short-term vacation rentals and what the governor's office is planning to do to address the problems that have been going on. There was no real solution. There wasn't anything that came out of it that they said this is what we're going to do, but it is something that is on the table. They're going to be addressing it. So there's that. We also had a dinner last night with a bunch of the mayors from Utah at the governor's mansion. And that went really well. So that's, I guess, the report that I have tonight.
Thank you. Did they give any information about what they were going to do to address it?
They didn't have any specifics, but said that they were willing to work with the league on what the league recommended, just because the league does represent a pretty broad area. So nothing set in stone, but the league does have a advisory committee that they're getting together to work on it specifically. So we should have a lot more information in the coming weeks.
All right, thanks, Mayor. City Council, any reports that you'd like to make tonight?
Nothing I have.
I just want to know, it looks like we've scheduled the Fall Festival for September 25th, 20.
If I'm not mistaken. Let me go to my calendar here.
The 24th, I think. It's 24th, yeah.
Okay. We were all wrong. Thank you.
Just so everybody's aware. The Fall Festival's been scheduled for the 24th, and that is a great event for the city. So if I think you have to sign up for booths now, and
Yeah.
if you don't get a booth, then you don't get a booth. So
And
you
what
want to
we're-
sign up early.
What we're doing this year is particularly for food vendors. We're limiting to 2 booth vendors of each type. So like 2 hamburger hot dog, 2 Navajo taco, 2 snow cone, just so we don't get too many of one thing. So, and it's first come, first served.
All right, thank you. All right, David, you are up.
Okay, I just have a couple quick things. Obviously, there's the update that I have in here, the status report. One that I will highlight, well, 2 that I'll highlight in here. It looks like I accidentally deleted the Parks and Rec Trails and Open Space Master Plan. Update on that, and the update on that is that we're having a public open house next Tuesday, so a week from today, from 5 to 7, to get public input on trails, parks, recreation, open space in the city, which will help kind of shape the future of how our recreation and open space is. And then because we just received the grant for our general plan, the citywide master plan, this trails and open space and recreation plan will then be incorporated to that general plan when it's updated as well. And we'll be putting out an RFP here shortly for the general plan. So that's exciting stuff.
What should the public expect to do? Just come in and make recommendations?
Yeah, so the consultant will kind of facilitate it. They'll probably have maps and questions, and maybe even have questionnaires to fill out, things like that. So pretty standard kind of public open house where they're gathering basically public feedback. So
Is that gonna be here?
it will actually be at the visitor center.
Visitor center?
So, yeah. And it looks like someone let the skunk out in here, so I swear it wasn't me, but. So,
He lives in the old jail.
yeah, I would say open the windows, but that's probably where it's coming from.
Yeah.
Yeah, next to us. We have a family.
Nice.
Put that in the
In the
San Juan
minutes.
record.
Yeah, in the minutes, in the record.
I was gonna tell you, just highlight briefly, so last 2 weeks ago, I went and presented to the CIB. They had given us a different proposal of what they wanted to offer than what our original request was. I went in fighting hard for that original request, and the first motion on the table was no grant funding, just straight loan. And the motion died because it didn't get seconded, and then 2 other motions died and weren't seconded to do just straight loan.
Wow.
And I think because everybody, and one of the things that I kind of conveyed to the CIB was, look, we would like a little, we didn't get as much grant as I was hoping, because what I was hoping for was to get enough grant so that our timeline to pay off the current bond on the wellness center, we could finish this one at the same time. But what was recommended, or what was approved to go forward, was essentially what they gave us in our initial letter, which is $341,000 in loan and $29,000 in grant. But instead of 1% loan, 2% loan, that was kind of a recurring theme. It wasn't just about us. They kind of did that with anybody getting a loan. They put them at 2%. And then I worked with USDA. We finally got in all of the submissions for getting a $50,000 community facilities grant. What we had to do was the USDA liaison essentially asked me to pull out all the equipment or the material costs because they felt like that they could justify more of that in grant funding. And so we were able to do that and get that in on time. So now it's just kind of, we'll wait. I think in the next month or so, we'll hear from USDA. And then in October, I go back to CIB, and that's where they actually approve the funding. So here they just approved a motion to go forward to the funding meeting. And then October, so hopefully we'll know USDA before then. Because if we do get USDA, then we will be contributing 150,000 from savings. If we don't get USDA, then we'll contribute 200,000 from savings, which we have enough of in our savings specifically for the wellness center. So that was my quick highlight on that. The other thing,
So
Oh, yeah.
couldn't you, when you go meet with me, can you try and see if they'll go lower on that interest rate too?
yes, I can re-pitch that as well to them. They were very complimentary of the city and our preparation in our requests. So I think that went a long ways as well. The last update I wanted to give you is last time we met, we're in a hurry to be able to move forward on getting the contractor to come look at our well that's down. He still hasn't made it down yet. So just wanted to give you a status where that's kind of hurry and wait situation, given how labor and material shortages are right now. So we'll keep you posted on that. That's all I have right now.
I just have a question on the wellness center. So do we need to prepare for an RFP to get that completed? So as soon as the council can make a decision?
No, because we have been working with the state contractor that's already approved, Johnson Controls. So as soon as we get that grant funding, and I've already been working on design with the architect on things. So as soon as we get that funding and loan approved, we can start moving forward as fast as as possible. We still got to go through a couple of processes with an agreement with them and all of that. But yeah, we won't have to go through the whole RFP process unless the council chooses and wants to go through an RFP, but that will delay it probably another month or two. And I would recommend Johnson Controls, who has the state contract. Actually, the reason why we were able to get all the information to CIB and to USDA in time is because our contact with Johnson Controls has put in numerous hours putting those numbers together, revising those numbers. I would say probably as many hours as I have working on this. So, but you can choose to go to RFP if you want, but we don't have to.
So October.
October
we know.
6th.
And you can't move forward without, what would happen if we did, if we moved forward without the funding?
Well, with CIB, that is a problem because
They
there
don't like
was,
it?
there was someone who presented at that last meeting, and they had done a bunch of work and had it funded and spent that funding, and they were using that as their match. And CIB said, nope, that's not kosher. You can only match what you have in place. So it was highly advised not to move forward until we have that funding secured. So.
Thank you. And then I was just wondering about the pickleball courts. Is there a status update on that? I mean, I know the grant was approved and.
Pratt's not here, so I don't know if have you heard any updates on
We
that?
have to do jump through some hoops. We have to do the public hearing in September. And then we have one more thing to do at the end of the year before we can secure the funds, but we have been approved. But
So the pickleball courts won't get started until next year?
right, probably first part of the spring. So I think we'll have the money to be able to spend in January, if I'm not mistaken. So
Last
Thank
I
you.
had heard that with Pratt, our timeline was that those would be done before next summer, even with where we are at right now.
Thanks, Mayor.
All right,
Voice from
financial report, Kim.
I don't even know here. The financials are in the packet. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. of our audit a couple weeks ago. It went really well. I was really relieved. Always am.
That's good.
Things went good. They had a couple recommendations for us just to tighten up some stuff, but I don't think there was any findings that we'll see in the report, and that should be back in the next month as soon as some reports are filed from the URS with them and finish that up. But it was good. They were here for 2 days. Talked to a lot of us, met with the mayor. It's good.
They're here a day shorter than they even planned, so.
Yep.
It's good.
Good.
Nice job.
It's good.
Kim gets all the kudos. She's-
Chris Webb's word, kudos to you.
It's done.
I was just gonna say that Kim plays it off as it's not a very big deal, but it really is a big deal that we have these every year and don't have findings. Kim goes out of her way to make sure this happens, so it is a big deal. Thank you, Kim.
Thanks, Mayor.
Definitely.
Anything else on financials? The financial reports?
It's good.
All right, recreation report.
Good evening. You should have the report in your packet. I did that 3 weeks ago, so I don't remember what I put in it.
Do you need a copy to look?
No, I'm
3 weeks ago, so these are outdated, no
Yeah.
good.
pretty much, yeah.
I was at the soccer games today and the kids look like they're having a blast.
Yeah, it goes. pretty
Grandpa's not so much.
Bring you a lazy boy out there. or something.
Would have got wet today, so.
smooth. So we're winding down on our pool season. So we're getting real close to, I can't believe we're talking about winterizing it already, but we do that here the first part of September, so.
So labor, August 31st?
September 3rd is our last day. That Saturday will be the last day we're open to the public. So,
So what's that, 2 weeks?
yeah, crazy.
Pump the water off the ball fields.
We have the ability to do that. At least the big.
That wasn't the question. The baseball
Oh,
field.
baseball field. Look at that, makes more sense. I was like, that's a long
Yeah.
way.
Yeah. With our gallon jugs, right?
Exactly. We'll just all on our heads, right?
We're gonna create a line with the elected officials.
240 kids in soccer too. That's wonderful. And the girls' high school got a soccer team together. Oh, good.
Yeah, you know, we were having trouble a few years back retaining kids in the oldest soccer league, the 6th through 8th grade, because they had nowhere to go afterwards. And since the high school started their program, we retain all of those kids. And so our numbers have improved. Instead of them dwindling the older they got, we've been keeping those kids even through our 8th grade program. So it's been really good.
All right. Any questions for David?
The answers.
Right. All right, thank you so much, David. Appreciate it. Okay, water. Let's talk about water. Terry.
Council, my report is about as updated as David's, but. it's in your
We need
packet.
current to today. Just kidding.
I think we're about 1% better than we.
Well, it's better than 1% less.
There's a lot of red covering San Juan County.
Covering San Juan County on the drought monitor. Are there any questions specific to the water report?
Where are we at?
We had any increases in anything?
Oh, yeah, the pipelines jump up a little bit with rain, but it's not long lasting. Couple little spikes, but overall, we're about where you'd expect to be, below average.
That's too bad. It feels like it's been some water. Feels like it's been some rain.
That's a pretty good monsoon. I think it's rained better on the mountain than here in town, really.
Yeah, I agree. But we're still at 72%.
Oh, I calculated, I think we're about 73 as of today.
So it is.
Preview for next month's water reports, it's we're only a week from finishing them off. Yeah, I mean, usually we don't get too significant of changes from fall. Once we get behind in the winter, we kind of stay behind.
All right.
Okay.
Questions? Anyone? Thanks, Terry. Okay, we are on to our business items. Mayor, do you want to present the Recreation Advisory Committee appointments? Do you want to make those recommendations, or would you like David to?
I'll just say, I mean, I don't know how good of service I'm going to have, but I will just say that I am really happy with the interest that we've had in this, and it doesn't always happen that we have more people interested in these kind of things than we have positions available. So it was a little harder than normal to come up with some people to put on there, although all of them are very qualified, and happy to, have all of them help in whatever way we can. But I'll let David tell you what I sent him.
Yeah, so I'll give you the appointment names. So, and if those who are here want to stand, that would be great. So we've asked Kyle Hostler, who's currently serving. He has been reappointed by the mayor. Emily Olson. And then Trent Herring. And then is Laura Stearns here? She's not here. So, and Laura Stearns. So we appreciate you guys being willing to serve. Hopefully we can get a lot of cool things done.
Is there 4?
There are 4 openings and then there's 6 total.
Oh,
So I think Tranner and let's say that again. Oh no, Lydia's was
Ashley Cosby.
Cosby. That's the other person. So thank you all for being here. And then I believe we just need advice and
advice and
consent.
consent. Does everyone agree with the appointments? These fine citizens of our community?
Awesome. Thank you all for reading.
Eric?
Good, yeah.
I heard a yes over
They're
here.
not asking me to do it, so I'm ready.
Thank you so much. We appreciate you guys. All right, so next on the agenda is the Airport Advisory Committee appointments. Looking forward to this one.
Mayor, do you want me to take this as well, or do you want to say something first?
I mean, I would just echo what I said before. We had more people apply than we had positions available. I think it's a very diverse group that'll provide information from several different areas that we need. I'm happy with it. I hope that council is happy with it, and if not, then I guess we'll go from there. But we'll see where we get. But yeah, I'll let you read those names out.
Okay, so just as a refresher, council, the makeup of the advisory committee that you approved in the policy was we want 1 person from our FBO. We want 2 aviation businesses that are at the airport. We want 2 hangar tenants that have no other affiliations. And then we want 2 at large. So I'll tell you who was appointed for each. We actually only received 2 hangar tenants that had no other affiliations. And those 2 are Dakota Clements. And if you guys are here, if you stand, that'd be great. And then Jason Ney. From what I understand, you're both pilots, right? Both commercial pilots too as well. Okay, awesome. Thanks. You can sit for now. And then the 2 aviation businesses, we have Chase Palmer. Is Chase here? I don't know if he's here. Okay. I know he does flight schools, which was some of the discussion of how we need a committee to recommend. How does that function? And then from Guardian Flight, we have Evan Black, and if you want to stand, and I have to, and this is one of the reasons why the mayor too had wanted to recommend Evan, is because he's been to every single meeting where airport's been on the agenda, and we appreciate that commitment. So thank you. And then the at-large, we have Christian Olson from USU, and I know he's not here right now because he has kids soccer games that he's at right now. It'll be great to have him. He mentioned how USU does have an aviation program, so that'll give some insights there. And then Chris Allen, and I don't know Chris, but his took a totally different perspective. So he is licensed professionally in drone flights, and he was looking to coordinate better with the airport and things like that, just to meet, all of the FAA requirements. And so we thought that would be an interesting at-large perspective to bring on board as well. So, and as far as the staggering the 2 and the 4 year terms, the mayor hasn't determined who's going to serve 2 and 4. So he had some family things come up. So after tonight's appointments, what we'll do is we'll put together letters and send to them and let each person know if they're going to serve a 2 or 4 year. They'll all eventually be 4 year, but we wanted to stagger those appointments so they're not all hitting at once. So Mayor, if there's anything else you want to add?
No, I think that covers
Space operators.
my
Act.
thoughts.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, sorry, Casper, you want to stand? You're- Yeah, and then Casper, sorry, he's an assumed. So Casper's going to serve from our FBO on the advisory committee as well. So, and I think the policy requires once a quarter that they meet. They can we'll probably coordinate with them. They can choose. They may need to meet a couple more times before that, but then we can get a sense and get a feel for it since we're kind of reinstating this. But anyways, I guess we'll just look for the advice and consent from council.
Great, yeah, very
I'm
good
excited.
group right there. That's wonderful.
Yeah, I think we got
Who's the representative from USU?
Christian Olson. He's the vice president over the Blanding campus for USU. He's a really great guy. What I'll do is I'll connect everyone, the mayor and I. So
Sounds good. No, that's a great bunch.
Can our rec board vouch for it?
our rec board can vouch, actually. She's here representing him. So, she's much taller in stature than he is. Sorry, from one to another. So, yeah. So did we get
All
advice
council
and consent?
members?
Yeah.
good?
Good to go.
All right, looks like you have 100% support.
Okay, great, thank you. That's all I have for this evening, and I don't have.
Thank you all for being here and for taking these roles.
Yes, very much.
It's gonna be nice to be able to say, let's send it to the advisory committee.
Yes, it will. All right.
Any need for a closed session?
There are a couple things, but I think they can wait because it'd be good for the mayor to be here, and they're nothing major or pressing right now.
I'd like to move to closed session.
Okay, what's the topic?
The, for the hangers.
Oh, this legal.
Yeah, right.
Okay, all right. Let's do that. Okay, all right.
Okay, sounds like we're having a closed session, so you want to go ahead and make,
I'll second his motion.
all in favor?
Right.
Thank you.
Mayor, do you want me to send you another Zoom link to jump in on the closed session, or are you okay proceeding forward without?
I would probably feel I'm good with y'all doing it, and I don't love doing it over online just because of how that looks. So I'm good unless you need me to be there.
No, since we're gonna do closed session, I'm gonna do the other item, which is an HR item. But Mayor, I think I've already kind of filled you in a little bit, and I can fill you in a little bit after as
Okay.
well.
Nope.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you guys. I appreciate you.
Uh,